Good afternoon, everyone. Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order at this time, please. Darn, I flew too fast. You did last time. Let's try again. See which one gets to too fast. You're good? Then would you lead us in a prayer and pledge, sir? Yes, sir.
Father God, thank you so much for this day, for your many blessings, and for your love for us. I pray that you'll guide us in our decisions today, that we not make the decisions in the best interest of the citizens of Ballinger, and in your will, in accordance with your will. I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Orr. All right, consider approval of the minutes of the May 2nd, 2016 meeting.
Can't do that, Bill Lincoln on me.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes from May 2nd meeting.
So, second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, visitors who are not on the regular agenda will be given the opportunity to address the council on any subject this time. Don't see anybody here that's on the agenda. Move along. All right, here the annual audit report from Richard Bowman for the fiscal year ending September 2015.
Fiscal year, sorry.
It's cold.
Yes.
What?
Okay, so I guess y'all have your report. Probably haven't had a whole lot of time to go through it. So I'll go through some, I'm gonna hit some major points. I'm not gonna read and waste a whole lot of time, but feel free to ask questions if you have any. Let's come to page 17. This is the revenue and expenditures, the general fund of the city, the general city account. Total revenues of $2,561,000. Total expenditures of $3,477,000. We're going to keep going down, and I'm going to look at the third line from the bottom. This changes in fund balances, negative $388,454. Okay? So the fund balance went from $489 down to $101,365 at the end of the year. Pretty big drop. I mean, it was kind of there was some other things that were going on that were kind of improved after that. Even at $500,000 when we started off the year, we've had this discussion before that that's kind of a small number, and then it drops down to 101. So you're at a very low fund balance at the end of the year. It just makes it where they have a really tough time paying all the bills quickly. One of the things that needs to, this does need to come up. I don't need to lecture y'all on where to spend your money, because I know there's a million places to spend money. Pouring the money away into your fund balance is not something that's the top of the priorities. We have to watch more closely that fund balance doesn't get any lower. Let's turn over to page number 22 and 23. This is the income statement of the water and sewer fund, and the airport funds are part of that. On page 22, you can see operating revenues, $2,195,000 in the water and sewer fund. Total operating expenses, $2,307,000. So up at the top of page 23, you'll see a loss from operations of almost $112,000. We transferred a little bit of money out. So the change in the operations from the water and sewer fund was a loss of $116,711. This prior period adjustment has to do with some pension plan, that's the second from the bottom line. We had to do a bunch of pension plan reporting changes this past year, and so that's at 56,765. I'll explain that a little bit more here in a minute. So anyway, I'm not giving you really very good news for either fund. The water and sewer fund showing that loss is not good. I think in the prior years we've had a little bit of profit, and it can kind of go away. Let's jump around a little bit. I'm going to jump back up here to page 5. What this does is to compare the governmental activities for 15 and 14. And if you look at that, last year we had and I'm looking at the second column over, and the increase in net position last year was 27,535. It increased. This year it had a loss of 153,950 for the general activities of the government. The next two columns over compare 14 to 15 for the water and sewer fund. Last year, the water and sewer fund had a loss of 122. This year, it had a loss of 116. 2 years in a row. And prior to that, so we're showing some pretty negative trends there. All right, I'm going to make you jump around a little bit more. Let's turn over the page. Sorry, I lost it. We're going to go to page 25. So the first thing you want to do when you're saying water and sewer fund, that's we're showing $115,000 loss, really $112,000 loss from the water and sewer fund. But the first thing that everybody wants to do is add back your depreciation. Well, we can do that, and that's in the middle of the page. Take the operating loss of $111,969, add back depreciation of $377,329. Okay, so that means we did generate some cash from activity. The second number of rows from the bottom shows $353,972. We generated from activities almost $354,000. But I'm going to jump back up in the middle of the page. We had to use that money to pay note payments of $435,000. So our actual cash decreased in the water and sewer fund by $85,770 last year. So that depreciation is a big number, so are our note payments. And most of that depreciation has to do with our osmosis, water systems, things like that. That's where a lot of that depreciation comes from. A lot of it's coming from just equipment purchases like backhoes, things like that for the water and sewer fund. So I'm pointing out where your cash flows. I'm going to jump to a couple other things here. I want to jump to page, give me just a second, right here. 43. This is the budget to actual comparisons for the general fund. You'll set up a budget to have a profit for the year of $30,756. You actually have a loss of $388,000. So your difference between your actual and your budget is a $419,000 difference. I'm just pointing that out to y'all so you'll understand and can kind of watch for it as a city council. That's something you'll need to be aware of, is where you're ending up compared to your budget. Okay, let's turn over here to page 55. Same thing here. This compares budget to actual for the water and sewer fund. The first two columns are the budget. Y'all budgeted to have a profit of $10,000. The second to the far right column, you actually had a loss from budgeted if we compare budget to actual, we convert our budget to a business type activities, we have a loss of $174,382. So that's $184,000 difference between your budget. There's a lot of differences between what you're budgeting and what's actually happening. Okay? That's what I'm pointing out on these last two pages. All right, I'm gonna keep jumping around here. I know I feel like it's a leapfrog thing, but we're gonna go back into our notes. A couple other little things that y'all would like to know, I'm assuming. And we're gonna turn to page 32. 32. This is just the fixed assets that's purchased during the year, is what this is. This is, that's something very fun. I'm not going to jump back over there right now. Y'all bought a total of $631,653 in fixed assets during the year in the general fund. You didn't buy a whole lot in the water and sewer fund. Just a little bit there. I can't even remember what it was. Something like $5,000 for something. I can't even remember what that $5,000 was. But in the general fund, y'all bought $631,000 for a dozer, a backhoe, a maintainer, a roller, several things. All that stuff was financed through John Deere Credit or different credit company. It's put in your books as a lease, but it's really a capital finance. So y'all actually bought that much stuff and will have loans to pay off for the next few years. Depreciation for the year, we break it out and show you the different amounts for depreciation. And the governmental activities, street is the big number. The police is too, because of just the way those cars are. The next group is business type activities, supply and treatment, sewer, and then the airport, and that adds up to about $397,000. Depreciation for the water and sewer fund. All right, the next page over, page 33, this lists out the different loans that y'all got and bonds payable. This is on page 33 of the loans. These are different loans. You don't owe it at the end of the year. You did not owe Ballinger National Bank any money. That's one reason why your fund balance dropped so much, is y'all use money to pay off loans. You took money out of CDs, closed some CDs out, but you use that to pay off loans, and that actually drops your fund balance. The next four are different pieces of equipment that were bought during the year. And all of this will be paid off within the next 5 years, 4 years, really, by now. And turn over to the top of the next page. These are the bonds that the water and sewer fund owes. $430,000 is your annual principal payments on those, plus interest. Interest is fairly low. Next year, your interest will be $70,000. You have a bond. Your bond payments in the water and sewer fund add up to about $500,000 a year when you collect principal and interest. And the next bunch of pages in here, I will not bore you with that. I do want to point it out that there's a lot of work to do this year for every school in city and governmental entities, because we're having to put in amounts that are assets or liabilities related to pension funds. Okay, and I can point that out to you here if you want to jump around a little bit more. The city of Ballinger actually has an asset for their pension plan. It's overfunded. If you want, I don't know if I would use that phrase. Be careful using that phrase, but let's jump to page 9. And you look in the middle of the page here, it says net pension asset. In governmental activities, it has 57,000. In the next column over, in the water and sewer fund, it has a 24,000, and then right below that, you have deferred outflow related pension plan. Another 87,000 and 37,600. Those are numbers that we're required to put in there now. Because there are some cities, there are governmental entities that have a big pension liability. Y'all heard of Orange County and a bunch of places up in Illinois, where they're trying to make everybody's financial statements comparable. Okay, all these financial statements go into a big database, and everybody looks at them. Texas Water Development Board, Municipal Advisory Council, anytime you issue bonds, everybody looks at them. They want to be able to compare all the way across the United States. So now we're having to put on y'all's share of the PMRs liabilities are, in y'all's case, it's an asset. You're a little overfunded. It's all very technically oriented based on actuarial life expectancies of your employees and stuff like that. So you do not have a big liabilities, I guess is the way I'll leave right now. So we're funding that thing very well, but that can change. That's really all I'm gonna point out. There are some, starting on page 63 and 64, there's some things that y'all should be aware of. As a city council, I want y'all to work on getting your budget amended. Watch that budget to actual. Y'all, nobody really is enforcing that on y'all, so you don't do it. There's other entities that it's enforced, and they have to amend their budget on a very regular basis. They don't end their years up over budgeted, overspent compared to their budget. So I want y'all to start trying as a city council to watch that and give them the proper authority to spend things. They're doing it on their own now. Okay?
Well, I think we're aware of most of that, but I hear you. I mean, as a private company, we're having to adjust a lot of the way the things we do, because changes are gonna come down the pike, it's gonna affect us eventually. So do you think those changes for those other entities that have to do that, do you think that's gonna be rolled out to the cities? Are we gonna be under more scrutiny? I mean, what's your opinion on that?
Okay, right now, for example, the other entities, school districts, TEA writes them letters. I mean, they're monitoring that. That's
Right.
their enforcement agency. Y'all don't have one. What will happen to y'all, at Texas Water Development Board or somebody like that that's loaning you money will complain about it. There's still no real consequences to it.
Well, if it makes us less attractive, there are consequences.
That minor consequences.
Yeah.
But what would happen is if somebody, one of your citizens filed a complaint with the Texas Attorney General's office, and, you know, they might come along and do something about it.
Yeah, in that instance, we go back to the minutes and find out that, in fact, we were aware of it, that we talked about it. I mean, but you're right, it'd be better officially to make a budget amendment and do that, but I mean.
But what's happening now is, I know y'all know it, I know, y'all know what money is spent. That's not, you're just not doing the window dressing.
Right, yeah.
You gotta get it, put in your minutes. And I promised them I would give them a form to fill out saying, take it out of here or put it up here. So
Yeah,
you just gotta do some window dressing on that.
you're right, it just reduces our exposure.
All right, the next, and then some more on the top of page 64. These have to do with Bonita. Is it? You'll need some segregation. She writes the paychecks, she reconciles the bank account and all that. I have to put that in here.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to warn y'all about what's going on. So be aware of that. And then, I'm sorry, I skipped over the first one, which is back on page 63. And this has more to do with recording these liabilities, getting this stuff recorded in books properly. For example, all these loans were put in there as leases, and y'all gotta work on getting your financial reporting in a lot better shape. And we just gotta work on it. It's not all day. I mean, when you go buy a maintainer, it's not a lease, that is a capital purchase. And that's got put in as lease payments, and so we've got to keep working.
Just the
on that.
difference between capital and operating lease, the
Right.
usual capital leases.
That's right. Yeah, capital leases where you all obligated yourself to a $250,000 loan. Or if it was an operating lease, you turn that thing back tomorrow, you're done.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the debt service was noted in the budget.
That's right. Y'all budgeted that originally,
It's just that it's just an asset change.
Yeah.
Recording assets.
but it's,
And depreciation, we're not taking depreciation on them.
we are.
We are, what we did in the books. Or we have to
We
do
did
an
not.
operation.
That's a crazy issue here, and it goes over here to page, I'm sorry, drag this out. We're gonna run over here to page 55.
Uh-huh.
And what you'll see is where y'all budget on a budgetary basis, all right? And you don't budget depreciation in your budget. But you do budget for bond payments. So y'all have bond principal payments of $780,000, but you only spent $430,000. So anyway, let's go back up. Do you see the line there of depreciation? It's in the actual column. 377,329, but I take that out to get the actual amounts on the budget basis. So, yeah, I'm not complaining about your depreciation
Okay, yeah, I see it.
being overspent, but the rest of these up in here, we do.
The only other thing I was thinking was, what's the total dollar amount that we received in related to the sewer farm?
300 and, to date, this fiscal year, roughly 300,000.
So those were spent in this prior period, which is what you referred to earlier.
Yeah.
Those payments
Kind
coming
of
in.
fixed it.
The timing of that was pretty bad for
And
us.
I didn't record those as receivables or anything.
Right.
Well, we didn't receive this fiscal year. That was the issue. We spent all of it last fiscal, but we didn't get our money until this fiscal.
Well, you could record it as a revenue back last, if you get it within a few months or a month after you.
If you knew about it.
Right.
These days, the infections, you don't know until you receive.
You don't know what you're gonna get. And we didn't get the bulk of it until February.
Yeah, so it's
So-
too far out.
Yeah.
Record that as receipt.
So that'll show up next year.
Yeah, improve things.
I mean, we've made some fundamental adjustments, as you know, to our water rates to make that a more sustainable entity, so.
Yeah,
And I think, you know, we'll have to see how that turns out this year. And
your water
we've done so
revenues,
far.
then, I mean, let's jump to page 5, I want to address that in just a second. The water revenues for the year compared, to get what that happened between the 2 years.
When did we do that?
September of 14 is when we, was it start October 14 or September 14? October.
So you got about a full year there. Between, I'm looking at the 2,225,557 compared to the 1,676,000, that's a, $500,000 in revenue jump.
Which number? In the
Middle,
business type activities, we went from
Third column.
1.7 million to
Top of the
2.2.
third column.
Oh, okay.
But your expenses went up too.
Now, some of those are gonna be, correct me if I'm wrong, for the sewer
Right,
run.
y'all spent a bunch, you also spent a bunch of money for a water, source. I forget how much money that was, but y'all spent quite a bit of money for a water source study.
the alternative water source, that was roughly 100,000 that we used.
When did we get that back?
We just now got reimbursed on that. Like, we haven't officially received all the money yet.
So that's another big number.
Yeah, that's what they were spending in one period and getting in
I
another.
forgot about that, but
Yeah.
that's,
About 101,000 as well.
So I think structurally, we've made some changes, but I think,
it's a pretty dismal time because of the timing problem.
right.
But I don't wanna just blow it away.
I mean, other years, we didn't have an answer, because we were just like losing money in water. But at least we're not doing, I mean, but you're right. I mean,
But that'd be something, here we are way into this year, it's time to give that a good look and see where y'all are at this time for this year.
Which we do, we
Yeah.
look at those financial statements at least once a month.
Yeah, you get it once a month, and Bonita, since we talked with Ricky, a couple of weeks ago, we look forward to getting your form. We put some stuff together already that we do. We talked about segregation of duties. There's some, we had some conversations after we met with Mr. Bowman 2 weeks ago. And we'll look forward to sharing those with y'all.
That segregation of duties is a tough subject because
It's a tough one for small organizations.
I mean, every entity around West Texas.
I get hammered on that at Mila. So I'll make everybody wear 15 half hats.
All right, that's really all I have on out.
And I think, how hard would it be for us to make those budget amendments? I mean, really, from an outsider standpoint, it protects us to make budget amendments and it makes it cleaner.
Yeah.
I think it's administrative in nature, but
It won't be a problem, it won't be an issue. The frequency is how much do you want to do with that? Do you want to do it every
well,
month?
even if we clean it up every quarter, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I mean,
Wherever we want to start, I guess the point is to strike while the iron's hot. If we do it at a council meeting, we say, okay.
Yeah.
You can do, if there's a form, you just,
Yeah.
same size of form or whatever, and we're good to go.
The next question is, do you want to do it before, and these are things that we can discuss as we develop the process. Is it going to be one of those after the fact things, or you want to do it before, or is there a certain dollar amount that if we're going to move 500 from A to B, do you want council action for that? Or if we're going to move 5,000 from A to B, do you want council action for that? Those are some things that we probably need to get some guidance on from council, but the actual implementation of it
Right.
won't be a problem.
The way that's supposed to work is your department head is supposed to look at the budget and say, I can't spend this money because I don't have enough. Then it comes to y'all and y'all get a blanket budget and then he's able to go spend the money. You don't do it after the fact. You don't wait till
That takes all the fun out of it. I agree with you 100%.
That's the way it's supposed to.
If we know about it, there's
We know-
emergency situations
We all
that
know how it's
doesn't work.
supposed to work.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, usually, we know in advance
Yeah, you're going to,
of the expenditure. I mean, it comes up, we want to do this.
Yes,
And then we ask the question, do we have the funds? Well, we have them somewhere else.
we're just moving from column A to column
Let's just
B.
move them to column A, column B.
Yes,
And Joel feel good about that.
yes. Yes.
You think?
You need to accept they need to actually take action to accept the financial statement.
Make a motion. This says here.
With what?
This says here, the audit, annual audit report.
What do you have?
It just says here, it doesn't say here, take action.
Oh.
So do we do that on the next council meeting?
Yeah, if you want to
Or
study
can
it,
we do it? Can we do it if it's not in the minute? We can't do it? Make a motion, we accept the audit report of Richard Bowman, for the fiscal year in September 2015. I believe in Bonita.
I
Second.
second that motion.
You second that motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. All right, Mr. Bowman, unless you want to hang out for the rest of it, we'll let you go.
Appreciate it, sir.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank you.
if you want to stick around for the Chamber of Commerce report, it's
I'm
riveting.
sure it's a
We
good
might need
one.
to audit her later.
Have a good day, sir.
Thank you.
All right, I think we read them. Okay.
Wouldn't that be-
You won't know.
You did better than
You know,
interest
structurally, we're a lot better off than we
Oh.
were. It's a timing issue
Yes.
for a lot of that. you know.
Yes.
Now, when I say timing issue, I realize I'm talking about months of Bonita stressing out. But in hindsight, it's simply a timing issue, Bonita.
I mean,
Proud of it,
the unwritten rule, the rule of common sense is that if we don't have it, we don't spend it, obviously.
Yeah.
And when we got to July and August of last year, and we realized that we were in a crunch, I mean, the directive from me and Bonita was absolutely no frivolous spending whatsoever. I mean, we shut everything down. Unless it was emergency type stuff. But we also, in addition to all the sewer stuff, we bought all the pipe Clyde needed because we got a deal for 30 cents on the dollar. We also got hit with $80,000 of sales tax that we didn't get, because somebody got audited. I mean, it was just I hate saying bad timing, but it was absolutely the worst time for all these things to happen at once.
Well, that, and I distinctly remember reducing our fund balances out those loans, because the question was, we're not making anything on that money, why not just pay off that, get rid of that interest expense? That's a calculated risk to reduce your fund balance that much, but it worked out.
Yep.
And so we look like geniuses.
Yeah.
Um,
We felt like it.
We look halfway smart.
We were halfway smart.
Better to look halfway than not at all.
But again, I mean, what I want to downplay is this idea that we're not involved in those decisions, because we are. But I do think we should take to heart this idea of cleaning that up, because if we get somebody out there that gets burned, they're settled.
To that, well, we will bring that up to that point.
Yeah.
There's a reason the agenda has the order it does.
Okay.
All right, moving along. Discuss and take action to consider the request of the Chamber of Commerce to use the city park for the annual Ballinger's birthday celebration and laser show on June 25th, 2016. Ms. Tammy.
Yes, we would like to request permission to utilize the city park, all of the city park, on June 25th for our annual birthday celebration, our barbecue cook-off and laser show. We will close it down first thing on Saturday morning and then open it back up after we're done on Saturday evening.
When is the actual birthday for the city of Ballinger?
It is,
Eb's not here.
Right.
You can ask him if he's here.
I want to say 28th.
Nope, may be incorrect.
It's in April, isn't it?
No, it's June,
June, it's June 29th,
29th.
1886. The reason I know that is because my birthday is June 29th.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's already telling me.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
Yeah.
Ballinger's birthday celebration and our city administrator's birthday celebration.
I was looking for
Okay.
a celebrant.
In his backyard, basically.
I'm just glad y'all are all gathering at the park for my honor.
Yes,
In my backyard.
In your backyard.
Literally,
for
in
your honor,
my
yes.
backyard.
That's what we'll rename it.
Make a motion to approve the request of the Chamber of Commerce to use the city park for the annual Ballinger's birthday celebration and laser show on June 25th, 2016.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. And probably, celebrate a little bit of party. But that's not.
You were saying that under your breath, okay.
Stick around for the next agenda item.
Thank you.
All right, moving along. You're welcome. Thank you. Discuss and take action on the operation of the Putt-Putt golf in the city park.
Okay, this is a unique situation, or at least it's unique to me, and I guess y'all had this situation for a number of years. Back in April, about a month ago or so, Jimmy Rouse emailed me and said, could we use the Putt-Putt facility as a reward for elementary students who made the all-A honor roll? And I had no problem with them doing that. And so the kids go down to the park, they use the park, I guess it's back in March actually. Anyway, they use the park, they use the Putt-Putt facility. At that point, Bert and the folks that run the Putt-Putt sent Jamie a bill for $432. And that piqued my curiosity. By the way, I did intercept the bill to Mr. Rouse. I feel if I have to pay for it out of my own funds, my own personal funds, I will. I felt like I misled Jamie in that endeavor. But it got me thinking, what is the agreement that we have with those folks? And it turns out we have nothing in writing with them. Bert, I guess the wife, his daughter, whatnot. And Bert pretty much agreed with that. There's nothing in writing there. The only thing we could find in writing was an agreement with Sharon Bowen back to 2002. And so I asked Bert, how did we get to this point? And the response was, well, Tommy just said, go do what you gotta do, keep it open, You deal with it.
Do they pay us?
They do not pay us a leasing fee.
They don't pay anything?
We receive no income from it, no revenue from it, I should say. His expenses, he had to buy the balls, the clubs. They run the concession stand. He informed me last week that they are making their own syrup and they're making their own pickle juice. The only income they receive from that is the admission fees and any concession sales. The Putt-Putt, whether we like it or not, is part of the park. I mean, it's there and we own it. It's a reflection on us, and it's not going to get any better. They claim, and I would agree with this, that they don't really have the money to go in and make the repairs needed to make it look better, make it look nicer. There's a number of just problems with this whole situation. Would you like to please share your story that really put the icing on the cake for me at least?
The past several years, since we've utilized the park for the barbecue cook-off, we've made a deal with the pool, and we've tried to form some kind of communication with Putt-Putt. So it's an all-inclusive thing when people come in, because we do lock down the park. You do have to buy an admission ticket. You've got an armband. And this year we decided to try to make it a little bit financially better for the people that are coming in. And so we wanted to do, instead of having to buy an admission band to get in, and then you have to pay to do this and pay to do that, and pay, nickel and dime you, we wanted to do an all-inclusive. So we went to Bert and his wife and asked, can we rent the Putt-Putt for a day, basically? Because we're gonna furnish all the inflatables and everything, and there will only be a couple of things that you've actually got to pay for when you get in there. The pool will be included, everything else will be included in it. And as a chamber board, they voted to offer them $300 for the day, and then they can run their full concession. We'll give them $300, they run the concession, they keep all the proceeds from the concession. We were told that they had to think about it. They came back to us and said, no, we want $500. And the negotiation kind of went from there, and Bert's wife came back and said, well, you know what, we'll meet you in the middle and we'll do $450. Well, $450 is not in the middle. The board was already ready to approve $400. And I put a stop to it. I said, just wait a minute. So first of all, let me talk to Brian, and Brian and Sam just happened to be together when I got the email, the last email that came through. And I said, because this is not right. I don't mind paying somebody because they're there doing their time, but when somebody is running up a bill on us, and at first they told us that they rent it for 2 hours for $50. Okay, well, I don't know where the $500 comes from, but that is 166 games of Putt-Putt, basically. I'm not sure that they do that in, a couple of weekends, but I had a problem with it because they have been giving us problems the past couple of years, even though we've communicated with them and let them know what was going on. Last year we had an instance on Facebook afterwards and just scolding us for shutting down the park, and the public couldn't get to them, even though they were included in we've got 500 people sitting there in front of them. So it was an issue. We wanted to make sure that the communication was completely open and clear this year, and give them an opportunity to come in and make a little bit of money. But I kind of felt like they were taking advantage of the situation. And that's when Brian had told me about what they have been dealing with.
Thank you. Right now we have no agreement with them. So I'm kind of viewing this as a fresh slate, as a clean slate. There's a couple of different options that we can do as a council. First, we can basically go with the status quo and just make a contract with them. Second, we can put some sort of lease payment on there to where we can at least get some revenues and funds back. Third is we can remove them from the Putt-Putt and make them an offer to make them whole for whatever resources are down there. Or fifth is we can just remove them completely, equipment, any concessions that are left, and things of that nature. We have no, there is nothing in writing with them on this issue. We have done some research as far as the last option. And of course, all this is paramount. Do you guys still want to operate a Putt-Putt? Do we want a Putt-Putt operation down in the park? That's, you know, that's for that's y'all's call. I have numbers to help you with that decision if you should ask. But it's really, we're kind of in limbo and we need some direction from y'all. We have our own ideas. I think there are pros and cons. I think we can run it better than what is being done now. And this is not in any way, shape, or form to say we're doing a bad job, but I just think we can do it better. The homemade syrups and the homemade pickle juice really got my attention quickly.
Well, and I will tell you, you have to have a food handler's
Permit.
license to be able to do that. You have to be certified.
To make their own.
And again, I wasn't aware of that until Friday.
Do they have one?
No. Do they get it? I don't believe they do. I can double check with, do they?
They'll have to have it posted if they do.
Yeah. If we went in and bought all new supplies, approximately 100 different colored golf balls and 100 clubs of various sizes, you're looking at about $1,200, $1,100 to $1,200. If we decided to run it, if you ran it 6 hours a day, 4 days a week, Thursday through Sunday, from now until Labor Day, you're looking at about $5,500 in labor. It's, you know, this is why I'm throwing these numbers out there to you, because there's pros and cons to it. That does not include any of the other repairs. I think we can slap some paint on it at a minimal cost and get the outside looking better.
Who maintains it today?
Bert mows Bert weed eats around it. But that's the only maintenance that's routinely done on it. And we could weed eat that when we do the rest of the park.
Wasn't in the last year or two, maybe 3 that we did wood repair, carpet repair, and paint or something else,
Yes,
that I remember.
Yeah.
To it,
it's been pretty recent.
within the last year or two, maybe, I think it was a year or two.
I don't know if I feel as comfortable with the city getting in a business like that as much as I do. I think, what if we just opened it up for bids? Just to run it, you know, if there would be any takers on that kind of deal. And then we get Ed or somebody to draw up a contract that said, here's your side of the bargain, right? Here's our side of the bargain.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? I mean, because I don't think we're interested in making money, but we're definitely interested in losing money on it. And, you know, I think, you know, for kids, that does add a lot to the park. I mean, I don't know, every time I'm down there, I have to buy a snow cone.
You won't know.
I bet you my daughter's filled with pickle juice. You can't make your own pickle juice, you just have to pour it off the pickles.
I don't know what they're saying.
I'm not, yeah. I think it's an asset. I think it's something that the park is, look at this from just a strictly money standpoint, financial standpoint. we're not gonna make any money on the park. We're not gonna make any money on the swimming pool. They're gonna be black holes in your budget. I don't mind the black hole being so big if I have a lot of people down there enjoying it.
When they're spending money in town too, at other times, you know, they're gonna go do the other stuff. It's a
Exactly,
draw.
exactly. One of the things I thought about doing was incorporating Putt-Putt into a family pass for the swimming pool. That was one of the things, and I asked Bert to get back to me on that, on what he thought that should look like. Given his experience with Jamie and given the experience with the chamber, it'll be interesting to see what kind of response we get back at. But I think if Philip, if you want to put it, if you direct us to put an RFP out, I can put an RFP out.
Well, hey, I'm gonna take it over if I do it for $500 a day. Just put my name in. I just want to rent it out for $500 a day. That doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, especially if they're not paying you anything to the city for that. That's just free money.
Yes.
What cost does the city incur, electricity, water? Do you know what that is?
We pay their electricity, right? And we provide
No,
them.
they pay the electricity bill, but we provide the water.
I just think it'd be smart to put an RFP out there and say, who's interested in running this thing? Let's get some bids again. Maybe we don't get anybody. Or maybe we get 3 or 4.
You want me to have them?
That's just an idea. I'm asking a question, I mean, I feel more comfortable with that than city employees down there working.
Well, I'm a former city.
No, we would have to hire, I was thinking part-time high school kids. That's
Right.
what I was, that was my,
Can I throw something out there?
Mhm.
It's just something that I was thinking about the other day after we discussed this on labor our lifeguards, we've got quite a few, and they don't get a whole lot of hours. Could that be something that we rotate them to do? If you're not lifeguarding and you move them around to the Putt-Putt? I mean, I realize you're gonna have to find somebody else, at least one person, to kind of manage
well,
that, but
we're gonna have
it's
a
gonna be the
lot,
same amount.
we're gonna have a pool manager and assistant manager, we'll have somebody on the management capacity down there at all times. If you don't trust the kid making change, then, they're probably gonna be working anyway. With the lifeguard situation, I know that in June it's going to be stretched because we have so many kids come in June. It really thins out in July. It's an interesting idea to maybe do that in July. I just don't know. We didn't really hire any new lifeguards this year. We lost some and we'll replace those.
And the other thing that I had, and I have to check into it, but I feel like, maybe we can use some of our tourism money to maybe purchase the equipment and stuff down there. The chamber, from what we get. Because I think that's probably part of a tourism attraction.
I agree. My question is, we did the cost off of 100 golf balls or 100 clubs.
Yes.
Can we get 100 people in that thing at once? That's a question.
I
I don't know how you.
You would want 100.
I don't know, I've been some scrambles that felt like that.
You talking putt-putt, you talking real golf? Well, yeah, I understand that. I'm talking to that little area.
We can do, I would imagine 50 is probably going to be the top that you can get in there.
Well, I'm asking, that's right.
Yeah.
I know we did it based off 100, so I was like, whoa, can we get 100 people in there?
I mean, if you
Yeah,
did,
big dangerous.
if you did 50, that number's going to drop to about 500 to 600.
Right.
But I like it. I was intrigued by the RFP idea. I really am.
Well, I'm not saying, it's no different. Theoretically, it's no different than getting Janet to run the pool.
Yeah.
You get somebody down there to manage that thing. If Janet said, I can do the pool and the snow cone, Putt-Putt, that's interesting, right? To me. But I think we have to change the structure of that deal. Number one, I think we need to be responsible for maintenance. And then that takes then all of a sudden, nobody can come in and just say, I'm gonna occupy this spot and charge people to come in.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, already we did a lot of maintenance to it, and we got nothing for that, right? But somebody is getting paid
Yes.
to rent it out, but that's a city asset that they're renting out, and no other instance does that happen.
And they're not really renting per se, because they're not really, they're
Well,
not
they
paying
can
us
argue that
anything.
that's my fee for being here,
But
but, you know, I mean, how many people get paid $500 a day?
It's literally the equivalent of Philip Park going in and saying the plaza in the park belongs to me. And if you want to rent it out, you go to Melissa Getz, but you pay me to check. I mean, it's,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything against them doing that because we didn't have any rules.
yeah,
That's just what they did, you know?
but I think it needs to be cleaned up. That's my.
Yeah, yeah,
that's my
absolutely.
whole
Well,
thing.
100%. We need to change the relationship of how we're treating that, you know?
Yep.
100%.
Is there any, because I can get an RFP out, we can put it in the paper, I can put it on the website, I can do some of those things. I can have an RFP back to you guys by June. I'd like to do something, I wish we would have had this conversation in April, and I apologize for not doing it, but
You know, why couldn't we, you know, perhaps some of the lifeguards could work, but this is not as demanding as a lifeguard job,
no,
right? And so there's other high school students that might be open to working,
that was
you
my,
know, that we do the same things we do with the lifeguards, right?
Well, do we want to incorporate in that with Jenna and get different times set up as far as the putt-putt or get them close to the pool times?
Yeah, but you're gonna get more kids to do that in the evenings after the
Yeah.
pool's closed.
my whole thought on the putt-putt hours was like from 3 to 9. Because the pool parties will usually end around then, and you'll have a party nearly every night, except for Mondays, I guess. But you'll have a party there nearly every night. And so those things typically end around 8:30, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at the latest if we throw a couple more in there. And so you would have somebody of management capacity down there. If you're looking 6 hours, again, 4 days a week, 2 employees at $8 an hour, it's about $375 a week, give or take. If you do that for 14 weeks, which is between the end of school
Is
and
that
Labor
using
Day,
the same rates as lifeguards?
they make less, lifeguards are make 10.
Right, okay,
Yeah, this is not a skilled,
right.
this is somebody who can make change and put
You
people.
gotta pay them enough so they make the right change.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that Janet said that there was a number of students who were interested in not necessarily lifeguarding. One of the fundamental changes we made, this is going to go up in my report later, but one of the fundamental changes we made was we always had someone at the cash counter. Lifeguards are going to be doing that now that we cut that position that was filled by 2 people. So there's a couple of people that might be interested in coming in and doing menial work 4 days a week. And you just hire 2 because if one can't show up, then the other one can. If it's busy, you got both of them down there.
You talking about putt-putt?
Yeah.
Or- Yeah, you definitely get at least 2.
Yeah.
To be careful.
Back up, accountability.
Yeah, because not everybody's gonna work every weekend.
Well, you know, we need 2 on site.
Yeah.
You can't have just 1 person on site, because that just exposes that, no one wants a high school student, most likely, you don't want to expose that person.
So, yeah. Yeah. Buddy system.
Yeah.
And then if you did it that way, the pool passes, the family passes is going to be just like last year. My thought is we bump it up $50 per, and then you get all the putt-putts you want as well.
What about free snow? We don't get bucks, that makes that enticing.
So that game, I don't want to go play putt-putt, but I sure do want to. So.
I'll get that for my kids. Hey, Drew. Drew, I want a blue go with that.
We could stock the concession stand far more efficiently. I mean, because we're going to stand, we're buying, whatever we sell at the concession stand at the pool, we can sell the same candy over there.
Or make it a little different, I mean, a few little different, it's not much, but I'm talking like the cell phone stuff, really.
Yeah.
That ice machine and everything, that's cities,
That's
the snow cone?
That's a good question. I don't know who that belongs to.
I think it came out of the pool.
It came out of the pool.
And then the popcorn machine at the pool? Put the popcorn at the pool and put snow cones at the Putt-Putt. Do we want to look at trying to operate it with a couple of high school kids before we RFP it? And
Well, I
inclusive
think-
into the,
Well, when I said RFP, I think if we can sway manage it, that's all you really need, right?
Okay.
Because if we're gonna operate the same way the pool is,
right,
if Janet wants to do that, that's fine, you know, or if somebody else wants to do that, that's interesting.
Okay.
But we operate it the same way. You're
Okay.
gonna be paid a management fee, to
Right.
make sure that runs efficient.
Yeah.
You know, we
Right.
will do the hiring process that gives high school students something to do,
right.
you know, which is,
2 or 3 less high school students that Mark has to deal with.
you know, Mueller, we can't hire
If it was
high
affordable,
school
you wouldn't have
kids
any
anymore.
meetings.
We used to do that all the time.
You can't?
Oh, I know.
I'll leave you alone.
It's way too bad.
Yeah.
And we are hiring, and I will put this in city manager report, but we've got a summer crew. In fact, 2 of them are starting tomorrow, their college students are coming back.
They're gonna be upset because they're gonna have their weed eaten and they're gonna let them know there was a job selling.
You're a distributor. They do get more hours.
I will certainly talk with Janet to see if she's comfortable doing that. I don't think she would have, we've had some preliminary discussions about it. But this brings up the point that Mr. Bowman has. And this is certainly not budgeted for in any particular area, since it is new. We do have $30,000 in the budget out of the community center on a bank note that we do not currently, that we will not use this year. So we have some budgeted funds over there. Would y'all approve us moving, and I need to get you an exact number, to cover the additional expenses of Putt-Putt and so on and so forth?
I'm open to it, but why don't we do that whenever you find out whatever the dollar amount is, that way we'll have it all recorded. Okay, I'm open to that idea, I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can't imagine you could lose that much money on snow cones.
Well, it's just gonna be, we're gonna need funds to set to buy, if we buy clubs, we're gonna need funds.
Oh, I
So
agree with you.
you're
I
gonna be
just
in a
can't-
hole for a
I
while.
just can't imagine,
Yeah.
you know, you're gonna lose that, even if you lost, even if you, no one will play putt-putt, you're not gonna lose, it's not gonna show up.
Yeah, I mean, you're always gonna have a loss up front anyway when you're trying to start something up. But if we start it up right, we make it nice, look at what we did with the pool, I mean, last year, so it's gotten better, people like it more are coming, so it's, you know, we're not breaking even, don't think I'm saying that, we're not breaking even, but we are doing better, how's that?
Okay. Then, if I have y'all's permission to go ahead and visit with Janet, if she's acceptable to that, I will, make an agreement with her. We also hired an assistant manager. We won't have a head lifeguard this year. We hired an assistant manager. That's why we have one less lifeguard as well. There will always be a responsible adult up there at all times. We had that issue last year where Doc was up there part of the day, and then part of the day he was not. And so there were issues and situations that parents had to handle outside of a responsible person. I think we found a solution to that problem by having a responsible person there at all times. But I'll visit with her, and I'll visit with some high school students. If y'all are comfortable with that, then that's the road we'll go down. If that's not what you're comfortable with, let me know, because we open the pool May 31st. And I also need to inform the current management at Putt-Putt that we're going to no longer need their services. Is that acceptable to council, or is that?
We don't
That
have a
would be the
contract.
route we're going. We don't have a contract with them anyway, so.
Well, that's gonna be part of a motion we're gonna have to make here.
Yeah. I was just trying to couch a motion for each.
Yeah.
I want to be clear about what I want to be clear about what we're going
Yeah, and I guess, what everyone think is, it'd be interesting to know what everyone thinks is gonna take in investment. Not just for the clubs, but for the cleanup, for whatever the safety equipment's in there, for,
Right.
you know, is there
Well, we gotta
cash
replace-
register there, is
Right.
there, you know,
And what-
if it's just a wooden drawer,
Yeah, what condition are they in, do they need to
Right.
be changed, or need to be updated?
yeah, just somebody go through there and say what.
Kinda like we did the pool, we had to bite the bullet on some stuff.
in anticipation of that, I can have, our street guys can go down there. In fact, they're down the pool at the park right now. But I can have them do a good one through, look at it, and if we need to buy a 2x from Bobo or somebody, we can go buy a 2x. But I'm not talking a whole deal.
When we go down there, there's gonna be 9 additional holes.
Yeah.
I wanna know where they're gonna put them.
We're gonna have multi-layer.
Yeah, that's it, you have the double deck, that's
We're
the
building up.
It's challenging to go down that slope.
We're getting rid of the carpet, we're putting in Mueller metal.
I can't abstain from that vote.
But I will say this: I've had some people go down there, and they've had issues at the Putt-Putt area. This was during spring break, and that's the first thing that caught my attention. And there's just been a number of events ever since. We get hammered for it on social media, so I figured we might as well start taking responsibility of it.
Reduce the headache.
So,
Right, what's our action?
I don't know how to phrase that.
Yeah, I know, it's kind of like, okay.
Because you want to terminate, but
Discontinue?
you want, you want to discontinue, terminate is the same thing.
Just a
What
little
do you do for anything invested?
do you make them whole, and do you make them owe?
Well, see, I don't even know what holdings. And
See, I don't know what they've got
I don't know how
into.
old the clubs are. I don't know how old the balls are. I don't know.
Do you make them a one-time offer to purchase those assets and
See if they take it or come back,
Yeah. I mean, I think that would be the key. Make it a market.
make it an offer.
Yeah. Make it a market-based decision.
Well, we know what new equipment's gonna cost.
Right.
Because you're not terminating the agreement, because there is no agreement.
There is no
Correct,
agreement.
correct.
So I make a motion that the city take back over Putt-Putt operations in the city park.
Okay.
And then negotiate with the current, folks that have been operating Putt-Putt golf for, purchase of, whatever assets that would be to our advantage moving forward.
What is considered theirs, not the city's.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, let's not buy our own license.
We're not-
Assets owned by the people.
But regardless, they are to be removed from the facility.
Well, yeah, I mean, once we take it back over, we take it back over. Okay.
I just want to be clear about that.
Second,
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Awesome.
We just no longer need those services. We're going in a different direction.
Yes.
Thank you. All right,
Nice way to put it.
you what?
That's a nice way to put it.
Remove from the table, discuss and take action to establish a schedule of fees for city services. You should have a list of the city services and the projected costs.
Y'all have this? I don't know, it didn't make it into your packet.
It was on,
Oh, what was on there?
You just
Yes.
gave them. Okay. This is, it's just a preliminary list, but I would like for us to take some sort of action on it. What this does is, when I met with Judge Hilliard last week, we had a conversation about, city and county working together and the whole, we brought up that dialogue again. One of the things that I mentioned is, y'all get a lot of benefit from us. And he says, but you've never put anything on paper, you've never shown me, you don't ever know. So we, staff, we've been working on this for months, put this list together. the asphalt zipper is $300. The two big things here are going to be the asphalt zipper and the loader. They borrow the zipper frequently. It has come back damaged quite often. It has several little teeth on it, and those teeth cost roughly $300 to $400 per to fix and repair. And so there's no really recourse for when they damage it on our end of it. They do not have a loader that's big enough to haul the zipper. The loader basically mounts on the front end loader, but they don't have a loader that's big enough. So you can't do one without the other, functionally speaking. We also store their emulsion. They do not store it. It's just going to be cost plus 15% for whatever they use. The water road construction, that's the same price that we charge any water haulers. They have a genie lift down there at our storage facility, $500 a year. And then we've got various fees and charges over here. Couple of things, you'll see a bulldozer charge, a tractor shredder. I did not want to compete with local businesses. For example, Ballinger, I just didn't want to compete with Ballinger, but we're going to throw that number out there. We did purchase an asphalt distributor. If they need to borrow it or if they need to use it, it's $200 an hour. Same thing with the chip spreader, same thing with a haul truck and a 20-yard dump trailer. Also put in here that we reserve the right to waive these fees as needed or necessary. The zipper and the loader has been the primary use of the county for quite some time. At one point, they used it about 1,200 hours.
Where we store their emulsion every year. We've been doing that for years.
Yeah, we store the emulsion every year.
What does it cost us to store them?
It doesn't cost anything because we have the only facility available to store tens of thousands of gallons of emulsion. But if the county comes in and takes half of it away from us, we got to order more, and it could put us in a delay. It could put us in.
So it's our emulsion.
Yes.
Okay. So it's not really storage of emulsion. They're buying emulsion from us.
At cost, yeah.
Okay.
And it's always been at cost plus 15%.
Sometimes they order it, depending on what they're gonna do, and they'll take up some of our storage capacity. And then if we're gonna do stuff like we're getting ready to do stuff, Scott will order, and then we'll fill up whatever capacity's left. But he keeps up with whose is in there. I mean, it's basically the same company, but he keeps up with whose thousands of gallons is in
I was just trying to figure out, yeah,
Right,
how we do cost us 15%.
gotcha.
I don't think have we ever really charged them the 15% though?
I don't think so.
I think we just been, whatever our cost is, we put it in there. This is more for delineating city services.
Well, this is getting in line with what the county, presented to us as far as they're gonna start charging. So basically, it's like, okay, you're gonna have your fees, we're gonna have our fees. Because this is very frustrating, really, and Brian and I have done this either together at different times where, they thought, hey, this is what we put out there, but we're not expecting you to do the same.
Right.
Kind of like a double standard. It's like, hey, we're gonna charge you, but we don't want you charging us. No. I don't think so.
Well, I mean,
And as
to
we,
get on that, I mean, over the years, we've taken over several expenses from the county
correct,
that we've done,
correct.
because it had some capacity, limited effect on our people.
Right.
But, the one thing this doesn't address, that eventually we'll have to get to is the fire department too.
Yep.
Yes. We bear a significant expense on the fire department for a majority of the county's benefit.
Right.
That's okay, because we need a fire department for the city.
Right.
But
I did bring that up with Judge Hilliard. In fact, right before I walked into that meeting, Clyde informed me that they spend a minimum of 75%, closer to 80, but at a minimum 75% of the fires are fought outside of the city limits. But we invest heavily, roughly $140,000 a year into the fire department through contributions, fees, salaries, and things of that nature. The county last year invested $10,000 into it, but but they indicated they were going to double that to $20,000 this coming fiscal year.
Well, we just don't want to, if they want to get into a comparison issue, we can do that.
Yeah.
I'm good with this. Are y'all good with this?
Yes.
Make a motion, we establish the schedule of fees presented for city services.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Now, that's, I don't have to say that because it was on that sheet that we can waive these if we,
Yes.
Yeah, your head's on there.
it's already on
Yeah.
there.
So it's, I think it's per situation, per basis, how you want to look at it. Our discretion. All right. Consider approval of building permits. You should have at least two. There. Yeah. One of them is going to be Mr. Lund, which is the house on 8th Street, which we had under discussion, I guess, 3 meetings ago.
Yeah.
The other one is Tracy Cole, and is that Butch person, our person?
Yeah. He came in this morning, he just wants to put a metal carport on that lot there. I think he's leasing it from, actually, that house next door.
Okay, so that he's leasing that property, which I think is Tracy's.
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess they're just going in it together.
Well, that was what was confusing me when they were both on there.
Yeah.
Is he buying it from Mueller?
I don't know. He didn't say.
If you can buy your metal carport from Mueller, you will benefit the city of Ballinger.
I'm not saying a word.
I'm saying sales tax, sir.
I'm not saying a word still.
Mr. Young's just basically doing a remodel permit.
Yeah, I spoke with him this morning and, he said that Lynn Smith has been over there, or as of Friday, Lynn Smith brought it up to code on the electric. I haven't seen anybody over there, I don't know, but Randy said that he did see him working over there.
Glenn Smith did call Friday and said that it was ready for
Inspection. And you said Randy, already?
Everett.
Good. So getting any comments or any feedback from the residents around it?
I haven't heard.
Good. Good. All right.
I make a motion and we approve the building permit as presented.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And he also included, you have an attachment, Mr. Lund's report as far as the things are doing on the house and everything there, so. Good. That's where we requested to our certified letter, right? Awesome.
I wish they always went like that. I said, I wish they always went like that, if this progresses like that.
Yeah, maybe we need to change the way I'm trying to tell you. Did I say all in favor on that last one? Yes, no? I don't remember.
I don't think you did.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we did that.
I wasn't sure.
On the building permit?
See, I figured I'd about to go
I
further,
said aye.
and then I was gonna get, no, you didn't do that.
You just said aye, Eric.
Guess what?
I said aye here.
We got a double, we're good.
You got a double aye.
All right, here the city administrator, by with the report, please.
A couple of quick things, we've already done some of this stuff already. First of all, the lake level of the new lake is 35%. It's at 1656 feet. So that's going to be right at 35%. The new lake, or the old lake is flowing faster, in Valley Creek's flowing faster into the old lake than we can drain out of it. We rented an excavator to help basically create another dredge or creek path or whatever from the old lake to the new lake. Randy and I are having discussions about water restrictions, and we may come to you guys with a temporary amendment of those, not a full-blown deal.
I had that question since this morning.
I've been asked that question since last week. One of the things we're talking about is we're gonna lose a lot of this inflow to evaporation. It's gonna happen. The lake it's so spread out. So do we let God take it or do we use it? That's the question that Randy and I are coming up with. I'm pretty sure we will have some sort of amendment for y'all's consideration at the next meeting, but we don't know what a reasonable amendment looks like as of today. So we will.
Well, the issue is right now we have to buy more water than we're using from hydro.
Yes.
Period. And so, you know.
Paying for something, not getting.
And guarantee you, you know, if you open that up, people are gonna use more of it.
I think I'm looking at this as a test balloon to kind of see what our demand would actually be.
Yeah, until we drop prices.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
But see,
it's not gonna be.
See, that's where this.
That's the real test.
Well, that's where this is coming from too.
Yeah.
Because when I say water restrictions, that may include other things as well. The swimming pool will open on May 31st. Swim run operate mainly the same as it did last year. Jan Wilson, as you know, will be running it. We are going to be doing family passes, and in light of the decision you all made, we will try to incorporate Putt-Putt into those family passes as well. We will have a cleanup day at the pool on May 21st, 2016. It's that Saturday. I will say this, and this is not what pool it is, and it isn't. Claude's doing yeoman's job at the park. We have moved Brad Bickle down there to help him out, but Claude's doing yeoman's work. However, the operation and maintenance of the chemicals, the mechanical, the pumps, that may be a little bit more than he's willing to chew off at this point. We will most likely be putting an RFP out, similar to what you wanted to do at the park, an RFP out for a certified pool operator. I'll get back to you guys on that, but I want to make sure the water is clean. I'm trying to get all the things at the pool locked down. I am going on vacation, and my wife will not let me answer the phone. And
That's not gonna let you take it.
that's on
She's
YouTube.
smart.
Talked to USDA last week. We signed the documents. Tomorrow morning, we're going to get wired approximately $40,000 for the two new police vehicles. That's the Tahoe and the ACO truck. We will take that money and immediately pay government capital for our payment. So we will not actually owe a payment on Mark's vehicles until October of 2017. And then it's only going to be, I think, $8,000 annual payment. So good on that. We had to go back and forth on reimbursement with the Water Development Board for Hibbs and Todd and Lloyd Gosling. I believe we've got everything that they need. I met with Hibbs and Todd last Friday. They actually produced the procurement documents that we've been looking for. And so I submitted those to Water Development Board. And we did get $54,000 on one of them, so I'm waiting to get another 65. And then this Thursday, Tammy, Darlene, and myself are going to the Texas Midwest Community Network Lawmakers Luncheon in Coleman.
What time do you
Good probing question. Probably 9 o'clock, 9:30.
I'll have to look.
I'm good in the green room, so I'm gonna get there before everybody else.
I'll need to be there early too.
I'm gonna be the official.
Darlene, you can
green-
come with us and hang out.
I can go to the green room.
There you go.
If any of y'all wanna go, you're more than welcome to. I just need to know by tomorrow so we can get your lunch paid. That is all I have. Y'all have any questions of me? We will be off Memorial Day, May 30th.
You have a projected delivery date of the chip spreader?
Hopefully by the end of the month.
Oh, I
That's-
just asked.
Yeah.
See if they're keeping up or they're letting us know anything.
Well, it's been on, yes,
I don't know if you want to say anything about those cameras for the pool.
yes. Huh?
They're ordered, so they should be coming in, but I don't know if anybody knew that.
We're putting, basically surveillance cameras up, one to cover the front door of the pool, one to cover the area, the common area, and then we're gonna put a couple out. What we're trying to do is reduce the number of, Susie, the lifeguard, was on stand on her phone the whole time, and my kid nearly drowned, and, we can go to the
There's
tape.
two sides to that.
There's always,
Susie could have been in the lifeguard stand on her phone.
She could have.
It's just an accusation that somebody makes. It's fact when you record it.
well, and if Susie is on the lifeguard stand on her phone, Susie will not be working at the lifeguard, and we'll just go down to the next person who's not a lifeguard.
Yes. All right, anything else? All right. Here, request for future agenda items from city council. Anybody have anything you need to get on the agenda, please?
We will have, I would like for y'all to, when we give y'all, suggestions for budget amendments, I'd like for y'all to at least approve the base form of it. And then, so we can more or less codify it and get that read into the minutes as to how y'all want us to do budget amendments from this day, from moving on.
So basically our next meeting is in June 6th, is that right?
That, I believe that's correct, yes. Yes, June 6th. Also, if you look ahead, July 4th is a Monday, so y'all want to move that to July the 5th? Do you not want to have a meeting that way?
It depends on what's on the agenda.
Yeah.
Okay.
See what comes out of it.
We can decide that in June though.
Yes, that's a look ahead, that's a kind of,
Okay.
let us know what you want to do. I am, in all seriousness aside, I am going on vacation July the 6th through the 13th. I am going to Charleston, South Carolina.
Without your phone.
No, ma'am. Because Mr. Arp will call me.
You might ask how the weather is and that's it.
Mr. Mallory will call me. Miss Shields will definitely call me. That's a given.
She said no.
I'll tell you to leave the phone home.
See there? See, she's on everybody else? All right, something else that I'd like to see put on the agenda would be to modify the vendor's permits. We're having people just pop into town that's not either coming in and going through the right process. And I think we talked about this last week with whatever it was as far as water, something company.
There was something on Facebook that I saw, but they didn't come on mine.
Yes, and I should have brought that up.
Okay.
GE or some representatives of GE are going by door to door selling water softeners. And they are telling you that they're going to do their EPA lab testing and so on and so forth. They came by my house and he said, well, do you know what your TDS number is? And I said, can you tell me what TDS is? He says, well, it's total dissolved solids. And I said, well, tell me what that means. What's your total dissolved solids? Okay, well, what does it mean? And, I mean, I understand the guy has a job to do, he's just doing it. But we have some very, compared to other communities, we have some very lax timber permits. I know that they went and got permits, from Mark and so on and so forth. But I would like to see us strengthen those a little bit. If that's the will of the council, if not, that's fine with me too.
I'd rather be more stringent.
I've noticed
A little
more
bit.
around
I
lately
just
than
don't know
I
what-
have.
I just don't know what it means to be stringent versus loose, and I don't know what the requirements are.
In Anson, it was $100 per person per day. And if you violated it, it was a $1,000 fine.
And are they supposed to show that permit the minute? that
They're
they
supposed to
show
have
it?
that with you. That's the first question I ask when they knock on my door.
You have your permit with you.
Do you have your permit?
So who's subject to that, Schwann's?
There's exemptions for route carriers, for example, Schwann's.
Schwan, GPS, FedEx.
Again, the way Anson had it set up and a number of other communities, it stops the person from going door to door. It stops them from $10 permit, you don't know who's coming to your house. Anson was $100 in a criminal background check. I don't
Like
know.
DirecTV comes in, Dish, people come in, and they're reputable, I mean, they're
Yeah,
Dish and Direct.
There are sometimes some electric companies too.
And Dish and Direct sometimes use a subcontract, depending.
Right, well, I mean, they're,
But they do
but they
that.
are selling the actual
Yeah.
service, you know.
Right,
Yeah.
true.
I just didn't know how that worked.
Is there a way for them to get a permit on Sunday? Because we caught some, coming in on Sunday, because they know that there's no place
There's no
open,
place.
and they're going.
Police department's open.
Do what?
Police department's open.
They probably got.
Yeah, if you call dispatch and said, I got vendors over here that don't have a permit, call them out. See ya. Are we giving them permits to go through the weekend sometimes?
Well, if they get one that's a week long or whatever.
It'll overlap the weekend sometimes?
yeah, they get on Monday to Monday. When we were in Anson, we had a big problem with it, and I was shocked with the number of people who had warrants for their arrest going door to door.
We check them for that.
Yeah,
Well, I'd like to see us do some modifications to it, increase it, and also have background checks, something else to protect the citizens. Because some of them, sweet little grandma or auntie, they just don't always have the red flag up.
but back to GE,
Door seldom haven't changed in 100 years.
No, they haven't, I'll agree.
I did put a buyer beware notice out there, because I got a number of phone calls about it Friday. So. Anyway, but we can get that on there.
Please. Let's show what we have right now and then do some modification to it, or, give 2 or 3 different things we can do with it. Present it and go from there. Is everybody okay with that?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Thank you. Anything else?
Do we need to discuss, what the chamber needs to pay for pool and Putt-Putt for June 20th?
We haven't even figured that out yet.
I want $500 a day, and I'm sure.
Well, since it's us and now it's a premium.
Yeah, okay, double.
See, now you're not getting just Putt-Putt,
That's right.
you're getting the entire park, school, and Putt-Putt. So yeah, that might go up. Just saying.
Oh, that's, lay it out there.
See, new clubs is what it costs us.
That's what you need.
She might can help file for us.
I'll tell you what, you can have it all for the whole weekend for $5,500. The whole thing. From Thursday through Sunday, it's all yours.
Yep. Better than paper cheap on that deal.
We'll even fill the potholes in for you.
All that in money.
Okay. So I saw those wheels turning, I was waiting for a call.
No.
No? You're gonna be quiet. All right, nothing else. Motion to adjourn, please.
Make that motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you. We are adjourned.
Thank you, folks.